Hey mamas, I'm so excited to bring this conversation today. I'm talking with my friend Ashley in Italy. We're talking COVID-19, what quarantine looks like, how to keep your kids busy, and what we can be doing in the US right now to stop the spread and flatten the curve. Join us. Yay. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I have my friend Ashley here from Italy. So I'm in Denver, Colorado. Ashley and I became friends when we first had our firstborn. Actually, we were in the same birth class together. So we've been on the motherhood journey for almost 6 years now. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
But I've been keeping in touch with Ashley the last week or so just on what's going on with the current state in Italy versus the US, what she's dealing with, what's going on there, what we can take from them being, 3 to so weeks ahead of us. And also just some fun, like stay at home, keep kids busy, mom tips. So we are going to jump in to hopefully get you some good information today and hopefully make this really helpful for a lot of moms, especially with littles in the United States that are dealing with this right now. My son's school starts on extended break on Monday, so we are just at the beginning of this, and I know it probably could go on for weeks. So yeah. Ashley, tell us a little bit about where you are and what is going on in Italy around you right now.
Yeah, so thanks. We are living north of Milan, close to Como, and a town called Varese, which is right by the Swiss border. So we're very far north. And I've been here for 4 years, and we have been quarantined now for 3 weeks. I should say we've been home from school for 3 weeks. So Monday will be the 4th week. And we've been quarantined for about that much time, only because when they sent the kids home from school, my husband, who works from home when he's not traveling, and I just decided that we were gonna not see other people because we weren't quite sure how things were gonna shake out. And we were also sick with the flu virus that was going around my daughter's preschool, and it made its way through all of us except for my husband. So I was trying to keep us away from everyone because I was so worried, what happens if we're all sick with the flu and then we get, COVID-19 on top of that. It just seems like a really dangerous mix. And so we've been in the house for a long time.
So really almost 3 weeks from
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, contact outside of, I know your husband is going to the store still. What does that look like? What is that experience like? How are people out and about?
Yeah. So they started with the grocery stores have remained open, and there was this initial panic when the Italian Prime Minister first put Italy on lockdown. Mm-hmm. There was a rush to buy all the things, but the stores have since restocked, and everything's there. There's a few things that are, sometimes you might go and something's not there, but for the most part, it's normal.
Wait, can you send us toilet paper?
Yeah, it's really funny, the jokes here about the toilet paper in the States.
I'm sure.
But I understand that it's a respiratory disease, not like a bathroom disease. It's really funny, actually. But yeah, we don't have a huge stock of toilet paper, but we've been fine. So yeah, we have been trying to go not that often, once a week. And actually right now we were kind of saying we were going to go again tomorrow. And what they've done at the grocery stores is originally it was, like I said, normal, but last week they decided to limit the amount of people inside because there's just a huge challenge with the spread of this virus, and they cannot keep it under control. And so as a extra layer of the social distancing, they decided that they were going to make it where if you go to the grocery store, they only let 40 people in the store at a time. So you wait outside with your shopping cart in a line, and it's kind of once there's 40 people, someone has to come out for you to go in. And sometimes this can be 2 hours that you might be waiting outside. Other times it might not be that long at all. So it's sort of the luck of when you happen to go and if there's other people there or not. And we just received an update today about just the status of the healthcare system here in Lombardy, which is the region that Milan's in, that we're in. And it's pretty bad. And so they're saying basically anyone that gets sick and needs to go to the ER, whether it's related to this virus or not, they just can't guarantee that they're going to be able to help you. They just don't have the resources. And so it's getting pretty scary. And I was like, maybe we'll just try to eat pasta for the next week. We don't have to go get fresh vegetables. We have some frozen ones. We're kind of rethinking. I'm just trying to get to where the more we can push our interactions with the public, if it's possible, and it's not something that's gonna, obviously we're not gonna go 1 meal a day or something at this point. Hopefully never, but that's like where we can make some strategic steps to say we don't have to be out in public, and at least hopefully allow the healthcare system to eventually catch up. Because right now there's so many people in there, they can't help them.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about kind of the progression of how it's gotten to be so strict. I know a lot of people in the early stages, as you mentioned in our prior conversations, maybe weren't heeding to some of those suggestions or quarantine type things. So how is that affecting you all now? Like, what does that look like now?
Yeah, I think like initially when they canceled schools, which was 3 weeks ago, they did it because all of a sudden these cases, it was around like the 21st or 24th-ish of February when they made the decision to cancel schools. And so I think people just had this mindset of, okay, we watched this happen in China. It's not going to happen to me. It's going to get under control. Things are fine. Or I'm 20 something. I'm not going to get affected by this. It's not like I'm in my 80s or something like that. And so people were like, I know people that their kids were out of school, they went skiing. Like they took them away for the weekend. They're posting on Instagram about all the fancy food they're eating at the restaurants and their kid learning how to go down the bunny hill and, après ski in the lodge with millions of people around you. There was even a couple, 2 individuals from like the main area where the first initial like outbreak was. Mm-hmm. In that town, that they had tested positive for the virus, but they didn't have any real symptoms, and they went skiing. Like they left quarantine, which they shouldn't have done, got out somehow and went skiing. And I was like, who are these people? Like, I don't know, are they in their 20s? Are they older? Who are they? And the news, I guess specifically today, because they knew everyone was probably gonna go raid their home or something. So yeah, it's definitely like we've seen this progression, which is why it's sad to see kind of what's happening in the States, because I'm just hoping that you're not following the same track that we did of like not taking it seriously, because now we're in this like horrible situation. And at first it was just the north that was quarantined, and then because that's where the major outbreaks were, but then they extended it down to the south, to the entire country. And then they decided to cancel schools like for everybody and just say that's it. And they had some experts come over from China last week to kind of assess the situation here. And their first comment was, there are still too many people around. They went specifically to Rome, and they were like, there's too many people around, even though you have the quarantine in place and people can only be out for certain reasons. Like, you shouldn't have 50 people at the newsstand getting a newspaper, but they can't close the newsstands because like freedom of news and press or whatever. Yeah. So people have the right to have that information. So I'm thinking, well, can we deliver it? Like, do they have to go get it? Because then they congregate and they talk, and especially in a place like Rome where it's a heavy walking area, it's just hard to control that. So they're talking about even mandating more closures in certain businesses to just limit the amount of people around. And they are finding people. I mean, there are people that are going around. They have a lot of checks set up in our area. One of my friends who has to still work to go into the office, they were telling me about it, and they said that the cops are stopping people. They have like points that you have to go through and show your documentation. And they're still having these people out, despite being fined, despite all the news around the situation. People just aren't listening. And there was a huge amount of people in like the bars late at night that they interviewed in Milan, maybe last week or the week before, and they were, and I'm not trying to label anyone in any way, but there are of course the 20-somethings who are who like, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm not changing my life for this, like, you know, and kind of like, okay, I get that you're probably not going to be affected, but the community is, and it's a problem, and we have to do our part.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the biggest thing. I'm feeling like the last few days there's been a really big divide between people that very much understand that situation of like, yes, okay, I need to stay home. I need to, protect my children, protect like grandma that lives with me. All these things that come to mind. We have immunocompromised family members that I would, I'm very concerned about, in this nature. Yeah. And again, it's not necessarily ourselves, but like we can also do something small. And there's a lot of people that are still going about their absolutely normal daily life. And a lot of it in the US is that it hasn't hit everywhere so heavily, or even, very bad or at all. So it's hard for those people to like understand like why I should be limiting my exposure, why I should be out and about when like, well, okay, there's no cases near me.
right.
And to the point of like the actual virus and how it progresses is that you could not have symptoms for like 11 to 14 days after you get infected. So what we know today is that people maybe aren't having symptoms, but they got, infected a week or so ago. And then in 4 or 5 days, they'll start showing symptoms, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think that like, and I'm certainly not a doctor, but what we've been, to put that out there. What we've been told is that this thing can incubate for quite some time. And that's sort of the hard part too, because then in retrospect, the doctors will say, well, okay, well, who have you been in touch with the last 14 days? And it's like, who can say that? I mean, now I can, but before I couldn't. So it's really just about trying to understand that there is plenty of individuals that have underlying conditions or are just more susceptible to this type of a virus that are having severe complications, and you just don't know if you're going to be one of those people or if your loved ones or your neighbors or your friends are going to be those people. And I think that we're at the point now that it's just certainly better to be safe than sorry. And I remember my husband 3 weeks ago when I said, his mom couldn't come over anymore. He thought I was crazy. And now he's like, no, actually that made sense. Okay, now I get it. But, we just don't have that hindsight at this point necessarily, but you guys do. Like, you can look at us and say, we watched what happened in Italy, and what's to say that's not going to happen here? So if you can limit who you're in contact with, if you can change your life a little bit now, it might really change the course of this. But one person doing it is not enough. Everybody has to do it. Or the government is going to make you do it like they did for us, because they couldn't get people inside. So they just canceled everything and made everyone stay inside.
Yeah. And that's where we're at least in Colorado. School's canceled, things are canceled. Yesterday, our governor just came down and mandated that all the ski slopes, which bring in a lot of tourism to Colorado, closed at least for a week, I think. So, we're at that point where like those things are happening, and now people need to like, and also everyone was stocking up. So now they've got their stock and everything's closed. The true social distancing needs to start happening. And I think that's the biggest thing that I'd love for people to like hear from Ashley today, is just like how important it is. And also how like it might sound really daunting, but like we had a great day yesterday as a family. We did a lot of stuff inside. We went on walks. Like we had such a fun day. And I think that okay. So touch on working from home and how you guys have managed that as a family.
Yeah. So working from home has been tricky, but doable. So my husband, when he has to be downstairs, and he just locks himself in the bedroom and that's it. And my girls, I mean, he works from home, so they understand that there are times when daddy has to be on the phone and they can't bother. And that's also because he works with the States, so it's always when they're home from school that he has the big calls. So for them, it's been okay, but it's just the hardest part, I honestly think, is learning how to exist together 24/7 and under one roof. Like that is just hard to do, working from home or not. And I think that there's a couple tricks that can help with that. If this is new to you and you're not someone who habitually works from home, or you suddenly have these kids home and you're supposed to also work. I mean, the first thing is it's so hard. And I think you shouldn't worry about, if your kid's watching Disney Plus or Netflix or YouTube, like sometimes that just has to happen to get a phone call to take place. And then I think that the other part is just to try to have the mindset of we get to be together. It's not like we have to be together. Like now that everyone's home, we have to be together in that state. We're like, no, this is an amazing opportunity to bond as a family, to get to FaceTime those people that you don't necessarily live close to. I mean, we've been FaceTiming my husband's sister who lives just a couple towns over, but it's fun because you're doing something different. The kids get involved. And I think those are just the kinds of things I try to do if he's trying to work and I need to like distract them from that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I know. I'm thinking that too, as I can hear my children while downstairs. I'm like, yeah, why aren't they watching a show right now? But it's okay.
Yes. Little one that just came in.
I know. And the thing is too, is I love that. I saw it yesterday, the clip of the guy on like CNN or Headline News or something, like super serious, and the kid walks in and the baby stroller walks in, the mom like flies in. It's like the best ever. And it's like, that's going to happen over the next 3 weeks for sure.
Yeah. And we're all in the same, everybody is feeling it. So I think you just have to adjust a little bit. And like I said, you might change a little bit now, and hopefully you'll get some laughs out of it. And I just hope we all look back on this and say, like, that was really hard, but like, look at the time we got to spend together as a family. Like, that was nice. That was the silver. We've played a lot of Go Fish. We've played a lot of bingo. So
yeah, especially for like both full-time working parents and elementary kids in school, busy with sports. I think that is awesome to be able to have that time kind of back to them as an extended spring break, as they're calling it. But seriously, like it's pretty cool when you think about it. So, okay, so moving into what else have you guys been doing to keep yourselves healthy? Obviously, all of you guys have stayed healthy, and quarantining has been a big part of that. But what else are you guys doing to boost your immune system over there?
Yeah, well, I'm the big elderberry person, and I actually have my sister-in-law from the States. She's sending me dried elderberries so I can make my own, because I just can't financially keep up with the amount we're consuming if we keep buying them. Amazon here. So that's a big one. Probiotics are a big one. We have those for the whole family to take, just vitamins in general, and then trying to eat as many fruits and vegetables. But that doesn't always necessarily work out how you want. So with kids anyway. So yeah, we're supplementing over here.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a big thing too, is a lot of people are very quick to go out and purchase their frozen foods and blah, blah, blah for the next 2 weeks. But like, what else are you doing to help, just because you come in contact with this virus, yes, it is very, very, very contagious. But if your body is set up before that, and you are proactive about building your immune system and yourself and your children, it doesn't mean that your body has to accept the virus. Like, I know it's mind blowing to people, but your body is meant to fight off viruses. And if it's in a healthy state, if you don't have a, compromised immune system, if you are doing all of those things, your body has a very good chance of fighting it off. So anything that you can do to help, a lot of foods have probiotics in them, drinks. My husband has been making giant batches of bone broth that we've been consuming and sharing to our neighbors and things like that. All of those things help. And, kiddos, it's very easy to get kiddos to eat bone broth and noodles. I mean, it's so simple and so delicious, especially during the winter months. So lots to do at home to boost your immune system. So let's touch on some kid activities that you guys have been loving the last few weeks and that we can kind of, I know, prepare. I was like looking at like just activity sheets from like homeschooling groups and things like that to print off for my almost 6-year-old. So I know there's lots of resources out there, but what are some tips that you have that you've been through?
Yeah, there's so many resources, and I feel like there's this amazing community of moms coming together right now with free stuff that you can absolutely take advantage of. And I'll try to link those. I meant to do it yesterday and I didn't, but I've seen even more today. So I'll definitely share those. They're awesome. And I think like there are a lot of easy things you can do that also take up time. Like Play-Doh is so easy to make, and you probably have all the stuff you need.
Sure.
And that's something to do with your kids, and let them get messy with it and take an hour to make Play-Doh that you can make yourself in 5 minutes. But like, they love it, hands-on, gross motor, all that fun stuff. So that's great. And then I've been trying to do what they want to do for the most part. So like if they feel like they want to play a game, we're playing a game. If they feel like they want to do more like school type stuff, like I have that too. If they want to relax and watch a show, I'm putting it on, because it's just too hard to fight every step of the way here. But I think what's also great is like giving options. Like, do you guys want to go outside, or do you want to stay inside and do this game that's like secret learning, right? Like Uno or something, and we're matching colors, we're matching numbers. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of giving them the choice in this situation where they really don't have much of a choice can be helpful, just to avoid some of those meltdowns that definitely tend to happen. But yeah, the other day we washed our animals in the bathtub, like the little heart. I mean, anything.
It's such a great idea. Oh my God, I'm doing that today. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a whole bucket.
Like the watering hole on Lion King.
Yes, that is exactly what we're doing. What we did. Yeah. And then, yeah. So I think if the weather permits you to go outside and you have the space to do it, I would absolutely do it. The more you can get outside, the more tired they are at night. So that's helpful. And then we've just been doing a ton of different things I've been seeing on Instagram or Pinterest. Like they're just, now's the time. So you've always wanted to try that one activity. Why not? You have all the time now. And we've done a lot of cleaning and hand washing lessons. So they've decided that their song is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And so we sing that twice when we wash our hands. So yeah.
That's awesome. I don't know. Okay, what I was saying is I'd love to just get your like top 3 super simple tips for us mamas here in the United States for the next 2 weeks, like what we need to be doing right now, simple and easy.
Yeah, I definitely think now is the time to meal plan. If you're not a meal planner, I am not. I wish I had done a better job of that. I think it could have saved us some grocery store trips that really were unnecessary and just potentially exposing us to sick people. So I do think that that is a really smart idea. You can shop, cook, freeze. I love it. So do that, because I didn't do that and I wish I did. I also think now is the time to stock your home with, especially for those with littles, go to the library before they close, get all the books. Get as many crafts as you think your kids need, or as activities as you think you'll need. So maybe now is the time for a big thing of white paper, like just dedicated for that, or construction paper, paints, whatever. Like get all that stuff. And I think just make sure you have your sanity in check as well. So if there are things that you need as a mama, make self-care that you need to keep sane, because I can tell you after 3 weeks, like it's tough. So get the books that you need, or the candles that you need, or whatever that is, the wine that you need, I don't know, to make sure that you're prepared. And just the health side of that too. So making sure that you have the medicine or the supplements that you need to stay healthy and to keep your immune system strong, because that's just something you're going to want. And have the medicines like the fever reducers on hand, because if it's going to happen. It's going to happen at 2 in the morning. So have the children Tylenol or whatever it is that you need.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, mamas, I hope that was super helpful for you all. I know we all need to stay really positive and create solutions to keep our families safe and healthy, and I hope this helps you do that.